Fox Sports.
Back at Minute Maid Park, the Astros got their groove on with solid pitching and a breakout of the bats, picking up a much-needed victory. Tonight, it's a good old-fashioned pitcher's duel as two of the best in the league, Roy Oswalt and Ubaldo Jimenez, take the mound. The Astros say bye-bye to the Rockies next on Fox Sports Houston. Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, Fox Sports Houston brings you Houston Astros baseball. Tonight, it's Game 2 of the finale of this brief series between the Astros and the Colorado Rockies. Good evening, everybody. Bill Brown and Jim DeShays. The Astros had a thriller last night. They snapped that 5-game losing streak. Now they get a tough opponent, JD.
Well, this should be fun tonight. This is the kind of matchup that you change your plans over. Ubaldo Jimenez and Roy Oswalt tonight.
That's our Jaguar key matchup, brought to you by the 2011 Jaguar XJ.
And Roy 2-5 with a 2.62 ERA. That ERA 10th best in the National League, but still a run and a half higher than Jimenez, who has a 1.12, 7-1, 2-0 in his career against the Astros. But Roy, 7-1 lifetime against the Colorado Rockies.
It's the Astros and the Rockies, and it could be one of those great pitching duels. Sometimes it does not materialize, but these two guys have been consistent every single start this year. We'll see how it matches up in just a moment. Texas Ford dealers and the 2010 F-150. By Jack in the Box. By the Progressive Insurance Group. And by Southwest Airlines. It's a warm night, but very windy, and that makes things quite a bit cooler at field level. The wind actually felt like it was coming in at home plate from right field during batting practice, but the flags show it blowing out to left at that higher level. Colorado and Houston meeting for the final time in this oh-so-brief two-game series. Here's the Rockies batting order brought to you by Capital One. Carlos Gonzalez leads it off in center field. Seth Smith is in left with Todd Helton at first base. Troy Tulowitzki's the shortstop. Brad Hoff plays right field with Miguel Olivo the catcher. Ian Stewart is the third baseman. Clint Barmas plays second base for Ubaldo Jimenez.
Starting pitcher is brought to you by Suzuki. Roy Oswalt, 7-1 lifetime against the Colorado Rockies. 8.5 strikeouts per 9 inning, the highest of his career since his first year when he only spent part of the season at the big league level. And he runs into another top-notch starting pitcher tonight in Ubaldo Jimenez.
Delivers strike one to Carlos Gonzalez. Paul Nauert is a home plate umpire. Gonzalez at .322 with 4 homers, 28 runs batted in. Has very good leadoff skills, speed and power for Gonzalez.
Doesn't walk a lot. That would be the other element you were looking for. But when you hit for a high average, walks aren't as important.
He went 0 for 5 in last night's game. The Astros snapping his 12-game hitting streak. This is the first time he's faced Roy. And he flicks that one foul. It's a 1-2 strike count. The Rockies are hitting only .240 on the road as a team. They've lost 4 straight away from Coors Field, and they're 8-14 in the road uniforms this year. Jim Tracy's club has dropped its last 3, starting this road trip with 2 in Chicago and moving on to Kansas City next. Rockies are 19-21 for their first 40 games, and they're 4.5 back in the NL West.
This is the kind of game that the managers, the coaches, the other players, you bring a little bit of a fan to the field with you as a player on a night like tonight when you've got Roy Oswalt and Ubaldo Jimenez hooked up.
Brad Mills hoping Roy's on his game as he has been in each start. There's a slow roller. Berkman in. And with a quick flip, it's dropped by Oswalt at first. So Gonzalez reaching. Berkman got it to Oswalt quickly, but Lance was moving past Roy toward home plate. And Roy failed to catch this flip.
Couldn't get it very far out in front of him, but certainly a ball Roy should have handled. That's going to be an E1. And talking about Roy being on his game, thinking about pitching, not really thinking about defensively.
Roy does draw an error, his second of the year, for dropping that flip. And Berkman is credited by the official score with an assist. Now it's Seth Smith. He got a pinch hit and drew a walk as he stayed in the game last night. 266 for Smith, 5 homers, 16 runs batted in. He's been getting more playing time recently in the outfield. Smith takes ball 1. He's 3 for 10 on this Rockies road trip and 2 for 4 in his career against Oswalt. He's checking the signs of third base coach Rich Dower right now. Smith last year hit .293 for the Rockies. He takes a strike and it's 1-1. Oswalt 7-1 in his career against Colorado.
Nice touch on that slow curveball. Sometimes that's a pitch that he doesn't have coming out of the bullpen, and we won't see him break it out early in the game, but obviously feels pretty comfortable with it here tonight.
And throws another one.
Base Steelers 7 for 7 with Roy on the mound this year, and that's very atypical. In the past couple of years, they've almost never tried.
Humberto Quintero has thrown out 7 of 18 trying to steal. That's 40%.
That's good.
Yes, it is.
That's real good.
Smith is 27 years old. He's from Jackson, Mississippi, and went to the University of Mississippi. He was Eli Manning's backup at quarterback. And this time, Roy pulls the string again and strikes him out for out number 1.
This team is loaded with quarterbacks. Here comes another one, Todd Helton. Here's another slow curveball, and Smith way out in front. So 3 times in that at-bat, Roy breaks out the slow hook. Defensively, the Astros, same old in the outfield. Tommy Manzella, Keppinger in the middle. Berkman and Feliz handle the corners. Told you about Q's numbers, throwing base runners out. Very good behind the dish. So Hop, the Tennessee, or Helton, the Tennessee quarterback. And wasn't Hop a quarterback?
I think he might have been.
Well, for our purposes, he will have been.
Okay, we can't find any record of it.
Holiday one.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
He's not here anymore. No.
2 balls, no strikes to Helton. Helton's put together a 4-game hitting streak. He was 1 for 2 with a couple of walks last night. And during his 4-game streak, 6 hits and 11 at-bats for Todd. In his career, he's hit only .240 against Oswalt with a couple of home runs. Roy, with that fine 1.78 career ERA against this Rockies club, has made 10 starts against Colorado. And he pitched a one-hitter against them in Colorado a couple of years ago.
Aye.
Now 3-0 on the Paul Noward call. Helton has walked 25 times this season.
All right.
Todd's a .362 career hitter against the Astros. Corey Sullivan, who had a big hit last night off the Astros bench, a former teammate of Todd's at Colorado, said he's a very quiet leader, but intense in the way he goes about his preparation for a game. Runner going, and he takes a strike. There's the throw to Manzella, safe at second base. Gonzalez with steal number 5 of the year on a close play at second.
Brad Mills. Not to add, Manny wants an explanation. We'll get a look at it here. Q has a good pitch to handle. Boy, his throws have been great lately, right on the money. That was just a little bit out over the bag, but you can't ask for much more. Probably get a good look at it here. Wow, flip a coin. That'd be difficult to dispute that one either way.
Brad Mills went out for a chat. Quintero very close with an excellent throw, and it's a steal for Gonzalez, and the count's 3-2. Ted Barrett with that call at second. Full count on Helton now.
I think Brad Mills, with Jimenez on the mound, knows how important one run is in this game. I think that's what he knew he wasn't going to get that call reversed, but he just kind of wanted to bark a little bit, let his presence be felt by the umpiring crew.
Helton draws the walk. A little skip from Oswalt on that pitch. And now 2 on for Troy Tulowitzki. Roy hasn't walked many. That's number 14. He's in his 56th inning. Batting average against him is only .225. It's a pretty evening in downtown Houston. Tulowitzki on a 4-game hitting streak has a .295 average. 1 homer, 16 runs batted in for the slugging shortstop. He was 1 for 4 last night. And an RBI single in the first inning. He takes strike 1 there with Brad Hopp on deck. Tulowitzki has 3 hits and 11 career at-bats against Oswalt with a home run. Troy hit 32 home runs last season and 1 so far this year to the quarter pole of the year.
As we established last night, he's a very good hitter in odd-numbered years, so he's due for an off year here. He has bounced into 8 double plays already this year.
Well, you're right. In 07 he hit 24. In 08 he hit 8. He missed 46 games with an injury that year, and then 32 last year. Foul by Tulowitzki. That keeps the count at 0-2 for Troy. Went to Long Beach State. He was born in Santa Clara, California. Tulowitzki had the 10th best OPS, on base average plus slugging percentage, in the National League last year. It was .930. Oswalt and his mound opponent both have all 8 starts in the quality start department. Foul back. So that's why this matchup is really delicious tonight between these two. Out of the gate so well, but Oswalt, despite his ERA, 10th best in the league at 2.62, is 2-5. 21% of the time, Tulowitzki's bounced into a double play when there's been an opportunity for him to do so.
This is a good opportunity if he's looking to enhance that number.
Yeah, it is.
And Roy missing more bats. The strikeout number's up this year, and he hasn't sacrificed control to do it. You know, in the past, he's been a guy who, in the past 3 or 4 years, pitching to contact, throwing a lot of balls over the middle of the plate.
No.
But he's been a little more precise and less willing to give in with his stuff. And you would think the walk numbers would go up with that approach, but they haven't. He's just been very, very sharp each and every time out.
You see it outside on Fox Tracks. Two balls, two strikes to Tulowitzki, who's walked 16 times this year.
Well, now we're not particularly happy with Roy's body language after that one. Now we're stepping out behind Q, kind of barking. Now he's telling Q to turn around.
Big 2-2 pitch coming here on Tulo. And he hits it in the air, but that will be out of play for Lance Berkman. Happy birthday wishes go out to Barry Wallace tonight. And right now, for an hour, the Houston chapter of the Texas State Alumni Association is meeting at Sherlock's Baker Street Pub. And they have some alumni of the Bobcats in the Major League. Scott Linebrink, Marcus Thames among them.
Get it in there.
Back to left field, and that soars way over Carlos Lee's head for a 3-run homer for Troy Tulowitzki. Number 2 of the season for Tulowitzki, and just like that, the Rockies open up a 3-0 lead with only one out in the ball game for Ubaldo Jimenez.
A tough start for Roy. He made the air, then he walked Helton. That's nothing unique about that. Helton has one of the best eyes in all of baseball. And then a real good battle put up there by Tulowitzki. And if you're thinking like a pitcher, you could understand why Roy went in. They've been pretty much exclusively away on Tulowitzki. Felt like they had him set up for an inside fastball, but they didn't quite get it in there. A little higher, a little more on the hands, and you might jam him and pop him up. Well, and against a guy like Jimenez, you hate to think it, but that might be the ball game.
Could be. There's ball 1 to Hawk. Tulowitzki opens it up for Jimenez. Jimenez already has won 7 games. He's lost 1. Hawk with 3 homers, 12 runs batted in, takes the curve. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count to Brad. Those are his numbers. He batted 3rd last night. He had a hit and a walk in the game. And now he's flip-flopped with Todd Helton. Foul ball makes it 1-2. The Astros fell behind after the Rockies got a 1st-inning run last night. Houston countered with runs in the 1st and 2nd, then snapped a 2-2 tie with a 3rd-inning bomb from Carlos Lee, but needed 4 in the 8th to win at 7-3. Still 1-2 to Hop. Hop, an 11th round draft choice in 2000. He hit 23 homers last year and drove in 86. And late on the fastball, down on strikes. Strikeout number 2 for Oswalt, who's needed 28 pitches so far. Some excellent movement there.
Yeah, they're trying to throw that fastball that starts at the hitter's hip and then runs back to the inside corner, but it ran all the way across the plate. Nonetheless, a pretty feeble hack by Hop. He's got overmatched by that heater.
Miguel Olivo, 1 for 3 with a walk last night. Takes ball 1. He has 8 homers, 20 runs batted in, and he's hitting .284. Fouled away, and it's 1-1 to Olivo, the 31-year-old veteran from the Dominican. 30 pitches so far for Oswalt.
There's been a lot of games where that's 3 innings worth. And it's a hot night tonight.
That comes in for strike 2, 1-2 with Ian Stewart on deck. Two balls, 2 strikes. The Rockies have had a rough time winning in this ballpark. They're 8-25 at Minute Maid Park. Popped up. Manzella with the play for out number 3. The Rockies get a big 3-run first on 1 hit with 1 error, and they lead 3-0. by Capital One. Michael Bourne in center field, the leadoff man, followed by Jeff Keppinger at second base. He had a career-high RBI game last night with 4. Lance Berkman plays first, Carlos Lee in left. Hunter Pence right, Pedro Feliz third, Tommy Manzella shortstop, Roberto Quintero catcher for Royals ball.
Starting pitcher brought to you by Suzuki. Ubaldo Jimenez. He's got the best fastball in the game, but he's not a one-trick pony. He's got a lot of other quality pitches, including a nasty split finger pitch. No apparent weaknesses in his game this year. He's allowed just 1 home run. He's been difficult to steal against. So go get him, boys. Your mission, should you choose to accept it. You got a big hill to climb, down 3 against a man who has not allowed more than 2 runs in any of his starts so far this year.
Michael Bourne took ball 1, took a strike rather. Now it's a ball and a 1-1 count to a .291 hitter with no homers, 5 runs batted in. Michael on a 5-game hitting streak, has 6 hits and 19 at bats.
If you're an Astro fan whose glass is half full, you're thinking this guy's due to have a bad game.
Yeah, no more than 2 earned runs allowed in the game. Quite a start for him, including the no-hitter. 2 balls, 2 strikes. First Rocky to pitch a no-hitter. And he's 26 years old. Last year he was 15 and 12, worked 218 innings.
98 with run.
The Astros have scored first inning runs in 4 of the last 5. Jimenez gets a strikeout to open this.
98 with crazy movement. The Astro hitters are up against, and when put in play, the outfield is Smith, Gonzalez, Hop, infield of Stewart, Tulowitzki. Barmas made a big error last night. And Todd Helton at first, rock solid, and Olivo can really throw. The man behind the plate.
Jeff Keppinger takes. There's ball 1 to him. Keppinger on a 3-game hitting streak. Has an RBI total of 16 now with a .283 average, and that ties for the club lead with Hunter Pence and Carlos Lee. 1-1.
And it's taken him a while to get loose. 7th pitch of the game was 100 miles an hour.
He's a conditioning addict. 2 balls and a strike. The morning after throwing his no-hitter in Atlanta, he got up about 6 or 7 and ran for an hour, about 6 miles. Upstairs, he does tend to throw a lot of pitches, but he is strong and was throwing in the high 90s at the end of that no-hitter. Bouncer up the middle. Tulowitzki to his left. Throws to Helton in the tag. 2 outs. Helton tagged Keppinger on the back as he went by.
Yeah, that's the thing that makes Jimenez doubly tough. He's a power pitcher who gets a lot of outs on the ground. Typically, you think of strikeout power pitchers, guys that throw that riding fastball that get a lot of fly balls, and if you run into one, you can knock it out of the ballpark. But Jimenez gets a lot of outs on the ground, so it's 98 to 100 miles an hour with run and a little bit of sink. And I was talking with a couple of hockey broadcasters, and they said, half the hits he's given up are like broken bats and flares. I mean, he's been completely dominant.
Lance Berkman, the next to try him. He puts that one in the air, foul for strike 1. Berkman at .234 with 4 homers, has driven in 13. Lance was 1 for 5 in last night's game, single. Looks at that one, and it's a 1-1 count to Lance, who's reached base safely in 18 of his last 43 plate appearances. He's a .340 career hitter against the Rockies. That mid is popping all over. It was 99. They could hear it in the upper deck in right field. 2 balls and a strike. And that is bringing his usual high-octane stuff to the mound. Berkman gets underneath it. Fly ball. Seth Smith in left. And a 1-2-3 first for Jimenez. Keeps the Rockies in front. 3-0.
Houston, the Astros, and Habitat for Humanity have formed a real nice partnership over the last couple of years to do a lot of good in the greater Houston area. This year's no different. They were hard at work this morning. I'm joined now by Stephen Tsai, the Corporate Development Manager for Habitat for Humanity, as well as Scott Stuckey, the Director of Development. And Stephen, let's start with you. You guys were hard at work this morning, I understand.
Yeah, you had 40-plus people coming out and volunteering and putting together our house for the Olgan family. And we really appreciate Fox Sports Houston and the Houston Astros for coming out today.
And this has been an ongoing thing. We did this with you guys last year as well. Talk about the response you guys get from this.
Well, I know that the people coming out got the fever and had to come back again. We're really happy for that. And what happens is making that difference with the family. And we have the Olgan family. They're going to be getting a home. They're going to be purchasing their home. So we're really happy to give them that opportunity to move into sustainable, affordable homes.
Well, Scott, let's talk a little bit about this partnership between you guys and the Astros and Fox Sports Houston, how successful it's been, and how other people can get involved as well.
Fantastic. It's been tremendous working with Fox Sports and with the Houston Astros. It's because of sponsors like that we're able to build homes and support families. And we're always looking for more volunteers, and we're always looking for donations. The best thing is for people to go to our website, www.houstonhabitat.org, and sign up. We'd love to see you.
All right, Stephen Tsai and Scott Stuckey, great work, gentlemen. We love the partnership. You guys do great work. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming out.
Brownie, I know you were out there this morning. You sporting some blisters today?
You know, those nails were really, really heavy, Bart. It was a grueling experience.
You had about a 94% strike ratio, I was noticing, when you were driving that nail in.
I missed a few, JD.
So as long as you didn't hit your thumb.
I did.
You won't be able to keep your scorebook.
Varma stung one, but Keppinger with his soft hands made the pickup on out number 2 after the strikeout of Stewart. Now Jimenez, who has 3 hits and 21 at-bats, takes strike 1. He's driven in a couple of runs. And Jeff Blum, there's the slow-mo replay.
Slow-mo.
The whole thing was in slow-mo, JD.
You can't break the window. It's rattling there.
That really wasn't slow-mo. That was the actual motion. Tommy Mancella with a good play up the middle gets Jimenez, and it's 3-0 Rockies in the second. ERA leaders among starters in Major League Baseball. The man on the mound right now warming up has lowered his ERA after one inning tonight to 1.10, the Bob Gibson-esque type figure, followed by St. Louis rookie Jaime Garcia, Livan Hernandez, Roy Halladay, and Tim Lincecum.
Yeah, and as good as all those guys have been, the thing that blows me away is Livan Hernandez on that list. Well, that's the 1.12 of Bob Gibson, otherworldly, back in 1968. Finished 22-9. He lost 9 games with that 1.12 ERA. Of course, it was the year of the pitcher.
That's crazy. Carlos Lee fouls it for strike 1.
before the divisional era. Mountains higher. Pitching really dominated. 28 complete games. You could draw those comparisons, look at the averages, and if Ubaldo continues to pitch like this, I'm sure he would compare pretty well with Gibson. But the complete game thing is just crazy.
Same batting average against.
Yeah. Strikeout to walk ratio again 3 times.
Gibson a little bit better. Yeah. 268 to 62. That was truly a fantastic year.
Just a little squirt of Primatine mist to clear the bronchial passages, and away he went.
Yeah. Ground ball from Carlos Lee goes to third. Ian Stewart plays it. Todd Helton. That's 4 straight for Jimenez to open this game.
You know who Bob Gibson's college coach was at Creighton?
No.
Bill Fitch.
Really?
Yeah.
Good trivia. Ubaldo Jimenez on the road is 4-1 with a 0.74 ERA. No home runs allowed. And 38 innings now.
Well, and look how big his hand is. That was a great shot as his hand just hides that baseball. I'm sure Brad Mills and Sean Barron talking to the hitters before the game. Here's our pitch tracks brought to you by Gexa Energy, showing you that 99-mile-an-hour heater. I'm sure there was a lot of talk about, if you can, try to work the count. It's a hot night. Maybe you can work that pitch count up a little bit and get him out of the game a little bit earlier. But the Astro hitters just don't have that approach for the most part. They're up there swinging.
When Jimenez no-hit Atlanta, he struck out 7 and he walked 6. He threw 128 pitches. That was tops in the majors to that point of the season. Grounded to shortstop. Tulowitzki throws out Hunter Pence, who's on a 4-game hitting streak. Here is the no-hit footage. Great play there by Fowler at center. That was only his 3rd start of the season. Jim Tracy said he was really examining the pitch count carefully. That's the combination of what he has done so far. 5.6 hits per 9.
Excuse me, frog working here tonight. One start where a guy gets extended probably is going to be an issue. It's if you push a guy start after start after start, that you start to worry about fatigue and arm injuries.
2-0. Last time out against Washington, Jimenez gave up 7 hits and 2 runs in 8 innings. He threw 115 pitches. Walked 1 and he fanned 5.
And the other part of the equation, of course, is it's up to the pitching coach and the managers. They watch a guy, and if he's starting to labor and he looks like he's pushing the ball, and then you start to worry a little bit. As long as the delivery is free and easy and he looks strong, disregard the pitch count.
3-1 now to Feliz. Interesting here because Feliz has walked only 4 times this season. And Jimenez, though, does have to deal with walks occasionally, but the 6 against Atlanta in the no-hitter was his high for the year. This time he does walk Feliz. First base runner for Houston, Tommy Manzella, follows. Tommy had good swings last night after taking a couple of days to really work long and hard in batting practice and not start in games. He came out with 2 hits and a line out to right field in his 4 at-bats last night. So shortening his stroke some. And at 191, he has a homer and 6 runs batted in.
I think most hitters will tell you when they go into a game against a pitcher, going to an at-bat, their philosophy is I'm looking for a pitch in a certain zone. I'm looking for something I can handle, something I can drive, and if I get behind in the count, then I battle. I think against a guy like Jimenez, you go to the plate, you're in battle mode. You're just trying to fight him off, shorten the swing, don't get too greedy.
Tremendous movement down and in under the hands of Manzella. And he bounces that one and kicks away. Olivo scrambles for it. No advance by Feliz. 1-2. It was that 13 strikeout game at San Diego for the pitcher Jimenez back on May 3rd.
You get a good look here as Pedro shuffles, then stops. And Ideally, I think you'd like to have a little momentum still moving towards the base as that ball gets to home plate and you see it in the dirt, then you can go.
Big curve misses. 2-2.
I would suggest on a net like tonight, it's probably worth it to be a little daring on the bases. Try to steal a run if you can.
Broken bat. It goes to Ian Stewart, who throws to Todd Helton for the third out. No runs, no hits, and a man stranded. 3-0 Rockies through 2. Balled error and then stole second and rode home on Tulowitzki's 3-run homer. Now Keppinger onto the outfield grass. It's a strong play. One pitch went out in the third for Oswald. Got a nice jump on that.
See him back there just on the edge of the outfield grass. That's the beauty of second base. You can retreat on a ball like that and you have enough time to make a play. Fox Sports Houston and the Texas Department of Transportation want to make sure you're safe this summer. Log on to foxsportshouston.com. Send us a photo of you or a friend wearing your seatbelt. One lucky photo will be selected to win a prize pack from Fox Sports Houston. Click it or ticket.
Strike one to Seth Smith, a strikeout victim in the first inning. Keppinger now will be playing even more second base, it would appear. With the postgame move last night, the Astros asking release waivers on Kazuo Matsui and promoting infielder Oswaldo Navarro to the Major League club after that game last night.
Navarro was playing a lot of shortstop down at AAA. He could play either second or short. Doing a nice job with the bat. Had an on-base percentage up over 400.
If you followed the Astros and wondered about Edwin Masonette, who was with the Astros last year, he's injured right now, hamstring injury. Strike three call. Smith is caught looking. That's 4 strikeouts for the Wizard.
Backdoor slider here hangs on to the outside corner, well framed by Q. Smith went down swinging in the first, and now looks one over. Ozzy Navarro is a minor league free agent from the Seattle Mariner organization. He's played a lot of professional baseball, but he's only 25 years of age.
Helton takes a curve that evens the count at 1-1. So Navarro gets his first shot with the Astros after a brief time in the big leagues a few years ago with Seattle. It's 2-1. Oswald's run support is 2.29 runs per 9 innings. Really low. There's 139 major league wins. The club record 144 by Joe Niekro.
Yeah, of qualifying starting pitchers in the National League, only Brad Penny has lower run support than Roy.
It's 3-1.
Helton again extending the at bat, very patient.
And he looks at strike two. And even though the Rockies have their ace on the mound, Jimenez, their opening day starter, beating Oswald at home would be something they could crow about. He has the highest winning percentage at home of any active pitcher, with at least 70 career starts. And the Rockies are 8-25 in this ballpark.
And we talked about his glittering numbers against the Rockies, 7-1 with a 170-something earned run average.
Helton takes a 2-out walk.
Talk about pitchers not giving it. Helton he will not chase.
Bart.
Yeah, Bill, I want to remind fans that on Saturday, the Astros take on Houston native Carl Crawford and the Tampa Bay Rays at 6:05 in an interleague matchup. First 10,000 fans in attendance will receive a Michael Bourne Gold Glove bobblehead courtesy of Coca-Cola and Walgreens. To be there to get your bobblehead, you need to go to Astros.com to get those tickets. Two of the most exciting young outfielders in the game, guys. Both of them Houston natives going head-to-head. That's going to be fun.
You bet it will be. Troy Tulowitzki, who hit the big 3-run homer in the first, takes ball one with Michael Bourne in center field. Oswalt, in his 5 losses this year, has posted an ERA of 2.61. The club has scored just 4 runs during his 33 innings of work in those 5 losses. Curveball, a strike to Tulowitzki, whose home run off Oswalt was his second career homer against the Astros. And Roy faced Colorado once last year, beat Aaron Cook here 4-1. 1-2 to Tulowitzki. Tulowitzki homered in Colorado off Roy in 07. The last 3 starts for Oswald against this Rocky club have yielded a total of 2 runs in 23 innings. 2-2.
Well, Roy making a little bit of an adjustment here for that 3-1 curveball first strike to Helton. Now coming with a breaking ball here on Tulowitzki. Tulowitzki and Helton in particular seem to have a pretty good idea of the strike zone tonight, laying off those borderline fastballs. So if you can't hit corners with a fastball, sometimes you're willing to throw a breaking pitch over the plate and just try to fool hitters. If they're seeing the fastball so well as a pitcher, you think, okay, he's sitting on a fastball. He's looking for the fastball. Maybe I can just lock him up with a good breaking pitch.
Helton takes off in the 3-2 pitch is ball 4. That's walk number 3 for Oswald.
One time he threw him a 3-2 changeup, and Tulowitzki didn't even flinch. It was like he was anticipating it. Here's the last 3 starts against the Colorado Rockies. Outstanding work in each of those ball games.
That one hitter was a 2-0 win over Jeff Francis in 08. He only hit a leadoff single in the 5th by Brad Hopp. And it's Hopp now putting that one in the air, foul. Hopp a strikeout victim in the first. 60 pitches for Roy.
Half of them in the first inning. Very efficient second inning. Got up to a great start here, getting 2 quick outs, and then Helton and Tulowitzki able to work walks. And you're going to be cautious. And normally you pitch aggressively early in the game, trying to avoid the big inning or being put into a situation where you might give up the big inning. But down 3 here with Jimenez on the mound for the Rockies, you just feel like you can't afford to give up any more.
Fouled away, and it's no balls, 2 strikes to Hopp. The Astros have had a rough time with the clubs in the National League West. They're 3-13 against those teams. And they'll be meeting Tampa Bay here starting tomorrow night. Tampa Bay currently up on the Yankees 6-4 in the 5th. Tampa Bay brings the best winning percentage in Major League Baseball in here. Currently 725 with 29 wins and 11 losses.
Yeah, they've been great on the road. They're 16-4 on the road, pending the outcome in New York tonight.
Won 5 in a row. They're 13-4 in their division. There's that great record of 29-11.
And they've had a relatively soft schedule to this point, but still, you can't dispute that they're the best team in baseball right now. Well, you could dispute it.
Well, they have certainly blazed a nice trail. That's the best start in their history for the first 40 games. Hit in the air to left field. Carlos Lee backs on it, turns, and on the track he has it. No runs, no hits. A couple of men stranded. Oswalt gets Hopp after a couple of walks, and it's 3-0 Colorado.
Is brought to you by the MD Anderson Cancer Center, making cancer history. May 20th, 1978, J.R. Richard fires his second consecutive shutout, 13-0 drubbing of the Braves. Cheo Cruz had 4 hits, drove in 6. Enos Cabell had 3 knocks. And Denny Waller hit his first Major League home run.
Cheo next door as Humberto Quintero bats. 3-0 Colorado. Quintero at 239. Takes the first pitch. It's upstairs from Jimenez. Q has 1 homer. He's driven in 4 runs. Taps that one foul. He came in the late stages last night. Kevin Cash, the starter, 0 for 2 with a sac bunt as the catcher last night for Houston. 1 ball and 1 strike. That one stays up. It's 2-1. The Rockies catcher Olivo caught Jimenez during the World Baseball Classic last year, and he told Jimenez that a no-hitter was in his future. 2-2. And then when Olivo signed with the Rockies last winter and went to spring training, he reiterated that prediction to Ubaldo during spring training, and then Jimenez, as you know, came through with the no-hitter. That roller, Ian Stewart in. He cannot make the pickup, and Quintero reaches.
That will go as a base hit because he tried to barehand it, but he should have gloved it. If he knows who's going down the line, he knows he didn't have to barehand that ball.
Yes, he did have more time than he thought.
Yeah, this was a relatively easy play that he made hard by trying to barehand it. It's just bad decision making. I mean, look where the ball is. Look where Q is. Field it with your glove, fired across the diamond, and it's an easy out.
Well, Stewart, who's made 4 errors, fails to make that play, but it's a hit. Now it's Oswalt. They look for a bunt from Roy. He's around and taking ball one.
What if that's the only hit when the Astros come to bat in the 9th inning and Jimenez is still out there?
Oswald has 3 sacrifice bunts.
I think almost any scorer is going to rule hit because he tried to barehand it. But you would certainly be justified in ruling an error there.
The bunt goes to Helton. Helton takes a look at second, but he'll toss to Clint Barnes. Sacrifice number 4 of the season for Oswald. Quintero to second, 1 out for Michael Bourne. Michael struck out in the first inning. He was talking during batting practice about some changes that he's made this year in his batting style, trying to build on what he did last year, let the ball get in a little bit deeper. Said he's still working on some things and struggling with some issues in doing that. And he takes ball one. Astros banged out 13 hits last night. That tied a season high for them. Foul ball makes it 1-1. Livan Hernandez now with Washington. Watch Jimenez pitch. Their former teammates. He said Ubaldo, he's got the stuff to win 20 games every year. Maybe Cy Young one year. Bouncer to first. Helton short hop play. 2 outs. Quintero to third.
When talking about good fielders, a lot of times you hear coaches say they attack the baseballs. And that was a great example there by Helton. Charging hard, handling that short hop as opposed to getting hung with a little bit of a tricky in-between hop. And that's a scouting report on the youngster Navarro that the Astros just brought up from AAA too. It doesn't have great range in the field, but really attacks the ball.
Jeff Keppinger grounded out on a 3-1 count in the first inning. Way upstairs for ball one.
Big at bat here. You got the Puma on deck. Topped out at 100 miles an hour.
2 balls, no strikes. He's thrown 42 pitches. Workman there on deck. Jimenez stands 6'4". He lifts weights every day. And he's gained 10 to 12 pounds of muscle, he says. Came up weighing 200.
And by all accounts, just a real good guy. His parents spent a lot of time in Denver with him during the season. He's always got either his mom or dad staying with him.
His father worked 2 jobs as a bus driver and security guard after 13 years in the military. 3-1. And the Mets came calling with an offer of a $20,000 bonus when he was 16. His mother said to come back when he had finished high school. The Rockies signed him for $50,000 the next year. Bouncer on 1 hop to Stewart. And it's no runs, a hit and a runner stranded after 3-0 Rockies.
1-0 as we move to the fourth. Time for our progressive fan of the game. And our progressive fan tonight is a very special young lady. Astros in Action Foundation teams up with Wells Fargo every month to name a hometown hero. Well, the hometown hero for the month of May is Savannah Kay of Angleton, Texas, sitting to my right. Savannah has an interesting idea about her birthday. It's not so much about getting as it is giving. Savannah, tell the viewers what you've been doing the last 3 years on your birthday.
Well, I've been donating things to the SDCA, our food pantry for our church, and things to the military instead of getting gifts.
And you decided to do this, why?
Well, my birthday is really close to Christmas, and I already have a lot of stuff from all my family members, and other people that are less fortunate need these things more than me.
This is your father, Pat, here, and if children are a reflection of their parents, you guys have done a great job, Pat.
Thank you.
She's a very special young lady. She's also our progressive fan of the game. There you go, Savannah. Brownie, back to you.
Oh, that's a really good story, Bart. Thank you. 1 ball, 1 strike to Ian Stewart. Olivo tapped out to shortstop on a good play by Manzella up the middle. That young lady's showing a lot of maturity at an early age.
Yeah, she's got it figured out.
Yeah. Strike to Stewart, and it's 1-2. Wonder if Stewart would call the official score if this game continues for Ubaldo Jimenez through, we'll say, 6 or 7 innings, and the Astros don't get a hit, and request that play be changed to an error on him.
Might. Calling from the dugout during the game is generally frowned upon, but it does happen. A lot of times those calls are made post-game.
Strikeout for Oswald. That's number 5 for Roy.
A lot of times the official score will forward people in the press box, and will talk to they'll have to talk to the player or coach or somebody after the game. Hey, what'd you think on that one?
The Osbros are busy with 5 strikeouts. Clint Barmas takes the off-speed pitch for strike 1. Grounded out on the first pitch of the second. Ball pretty hard at Keppinger. Made a nice play. Barmas took responsibility for losing the game last night, even though he hit a big home run for the Rockies in the 7th inning to tie the game 3-3. But then his error with 2 outs in the 8th opened the floodgates for the Astros to win it. Pedro Feliz, Tommy Manzella. In a 1-2-3-4. Makes it a quick one for Oswald. 3-0 Rockies. Now we have AT&T Trivia coming your way from Minute Maid Park. Who is the Colorado Rockies' all-time winningest pitcher? Okay. I think at one point it was Jason Jennings. Lance Berkman leads it off in the home 4th. Don't know if that's still true or not. There's ball one.
It is not.
Okay.
This question.
I hate it when you do this.
I'm not going to play along.
You're of no help whatsoever. 1 ball and 1 strike. Let's see. Back in the early days, it was Kevin Ritz, probably.
Franchise that's obviously known a lot more for their offense than their pitching. That's starting to turn a little bit here. You think of the Rockies and their history, immediately you think of Bichette and Walker, and Galarraga, Vinny Castilla.
Yes.
All that thunder they had.
They really did. The Blake Street Bombers. 3-1 to Berkman. To bomb one right here. He got a pitch to drive and fouled it back, but it was 98. 97 gun. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, that's the thing. You could be sitting fastball, and 3-1 with this guy in the hill, you're going to be looking for a fastball, but looking for it and hitting it are 2 different things.
And now ball 4. Berkman takes the leadoff walk. That's number 2 for Jimenez. And we're going to have the Coors Light Cold Hard Blast coming up. And it's last night's Carlos Lee home run. 3 and 4 games for El Caballo now.
And the ones he hit on the road trip were high fly balls. This more of a line drive home run. Had a little something on it. Look out, fans.
Swinging hands.
Man got handcuffed out there.
Carlos hit the ball on the ground first time up. Foul back, strike 1. Dave Raymond was talking on Astros Live pregame show tonight about some adjustments Carlos had made at the plate. And going back a few games ago, he said that Sean Berry and Carlos had gotten him into more of a crouch, more of a 2-strike approach to begin the at-bat. And that had been working well. Then he got away from it. Didn't work well in one game, so now he's back to doing it again.
Yeah, well, Sean's he's a mechanical guy, but more than anything, he's a psychologist. And we've got struggling hitters who want to give them something. This is going to make you better, whether you really think mechanically it matters a whole lot or not. You like to plant that seed. This is going to make you a better hitter if you do this. And you'll stand there and watch him hit. And yeah, that's it right there. Good stroke. You're on the ball, looking good. Let's try to build confidence.
By the way, Sean has challenged me to a race, JD.
I want to see this race, Brandon.
It's going to be a packet race with those Taco Bell packets, the hot sauce and the mild sauce race that we have here in the ballpark.
Can you guys both step aside from your duties in the 5th inning or whenever they do that race? We have to do a pregame.
Not sure about that. We haven't really worked out the particulars. We're still taunting each other right now. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, we could just get avatars made.
Yeah.
And we could have a virtual race.
Okay. That sounds like a great idea. Yeah. Inside. And Jimenez had that pattern of coming inside on Lee. He knocked him down a couple of times, in fact, last year in Colorado. With fastballs.
He gets such good run on his fastball. It cannot be a comfortable at bat for a right-handed hitter off this guy.
Berkman's going. It's loop foul. Helton over. The pitcher takes the throw, but not in time for a double play. Berkman sliding back in on out number 1. Time called by Berkman.
Yeah, that could be a little bit of a scary feeling for a base runner. This ball popped up behind him. And a lot of times when you look in, you won't see the contact. You won't be able to find the ball. But fortunately, Lance able to pick that one up in a hurry, so he's able to slam on the brakes and hustle back.
Brad Mills trying to make something happen. Had Berkman running on the pitch. Now it's Hunter Pence. He grounded out to short in the 2nd inning. Jimenez has won 38 games in his Rockies career. He's lost 29. So he might very well be the all-time win leader in Rockies history when everything is said and done for this young man. And strike 1 on the foul ball. And he's making between $2 and $3 million this year. So considering what he's done to this point, what his salary is, what a bargain. was fooled on that pitch.
And he's got the kind of stuff that can really make you look bad. The previous pitch was 98 miles an hour on his knuckles. So the hitter's going to try to be quick to combat that fastball. And if he comes with a good breaking pitch like that, he's going to look silly. But it's a battle we were talking about earlier. We were never comfortable in a confrontation with this guy.
Little roller out to Tulowitzki. He steps on second, throws to first. It's a double play to win the Astros fourth. With no runs, no hits, nobody left. 3-0 Rockies through 4. To you by your Texas Ford dealers and the 2010 F-150, by AT&T, and by Gullo Automotive. Beautiful night in downtown Houston. We look at one of the bios there, and at partly cloudy sky above with Roy Oswalt working to Ubaldo Jimenez. There's strike one to the big pitcher who grounded out in the second inning. Started the bat there, but checked his swing. It's 1-1. Roy's thrown 74 pitches. Little roller could be trouble. Oswalt comes over, bare hands, and gets him with a good play. AT&T Trivia wanted to know the Rockies' all-time win leader among the pitchers. And AT&T tells us the answer now. Aaron Cook has 64. Of course. He's been solid. You knew that. You just couldn't say.
Yeah, I don't like to guess if I already know. So I just kind of take myself out of the equation.
It wouldn't be guessing if you already knew.
Yeah. And then it just ruins for everybody who's at home grinding away.
Yeah. All the serious.
Gnashing their teeth. Going, could be.
There are a lot of people doing that out there right now. Carlos Gonzalez is 0 for 2. He reached on the opening error by Oswalt. It's strike one. Roy throwing that fastball at 92. Seth Smith is on deck. It's 0-2. And
it's really unfortunate the Rockies hit that home run in the first inning, because this would really be fun if this was 0-0 going into late innings. And the way Roy has bounced back after that first inning, you could certainly see that playing out here.
Yes, you could. Fouled away, and he's just been up against it this year. He lost to Tim Lincecum opening day, and then he lost to Roy Halladay in his second start. The Astros didn't score runs in either of those games. Lost a 1-0 game here to Ian Kennedy of Arizona. Curveball gets him a strikeout on Gonzalez. That's number 6 for Roy. He lost a 2-1 game to Tim Lincecum his last time out.
Yeah, he's really been in top form all year long. And this reminds me, actually, when Roy first came to the big leagues and he was getting all those strikeouts, a combination of the fastball and the slow curveball. And he went away from that because he was trying to be more efficient, trying to save pitches to last deeper into the game. Became more of a pitch to contact guy there for a while.
Strike to Smith, who's whiffed twice tonight. It's 1-1. Rockies have been hanging around 500 for most of the season now. They're currently 2 games below. They have not been 2 games above, nor more than 2 games below 500 all year. It's 1-2.
Yeah, Todd Helton, quoted in the papers back in Denver, said it's not a time to panic, but it is a time for healthy concerns.
St. Louis and Adam Wainwright won today in St. Louis over Florida 4-2. Wainwright going to 6-2. Ryan Franklin got his 10th save. Nate Robertson took the loss. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and that catapults the Cardinals back into first place because the Reds lost in a big way as Atlanta put together a huge 9th inning.
And 7 runs in the 9th to win 10-9.
Game-winning grand slam by Brooks Conrad. Rolled out to Keppinger's left. And he gets Smith. In the 5th inning, the Rockies go down quickly. 7 straight retired by the Wizards. 3-0 Colorado.
In 1976 at Yankee Stadium, Red Sox and the Bombers got into one of the ugliest brawls in their fabled rivalry. They've had a few. This was Lou Piniella and Carlton Fisk initially, and then Bill Lee and Greg Nettles got into it. Lee ended up with a separated shoulder. And then Pedro Martinez threw Don Zimmer on the ground. Just crazy.
That's strike 2 to Feliz, who's seen a couple of big hooks from Ubaldo Jimenez. Pedro walked in the 2nd inning. And lines this one foul. So Jimenez staying with that pattern of slow breaking balls. Still 0-2 with Manzella and Quintero to follow here in the Astros 5th.
He hasn't made many mistakes tonight, but he got away with one there. The 2-strike breaking ball that hung in the inside part of the plate.
It's 1-2. The Astros are 2 home runs away from hitting 1,000 in this ballpark, and the fan who catches number 1,000 will get $1,000 worth of Conoco gas. Now, we just got a clarification also tonight. If no fan catches the 1,000th home run or retrieves it, then the Astros will select a seat location to declare the winner.
So if it goes over the train tracks and somebody picks it up out there on the street?
Yeah. Somebody will win. Stewart throws out Feliz. 1 out. Here's the packet race with the Taco Bell hot sauce, mild sauce, and what's the other one, JD?
Fire.
Okay.
So this is going to be, so in the future we can anticipate Bill Brown, Sean Barry, and we got to find a third contestant. Maybe we'll pull somebody out of the radio booth, or maybe Stretch Suba.
Stretch would be good at that. That's me right there. You know, if you're losing, you're going to lose. You might as well take a spill. Sean says there will be no contest on this.
I don't think he's giving you enough credit.
No,
he doesn't know what a beast you are.
He's giving no respect. There have been 10 ground ball outs for Jimenez in this game. Manzella hit one of those. Well, Sean, being the confident athlete he is of course, talking that way right now. And Sean has never been boastful either.
I remember when I was playing, having a bet with Gene Tennis. I could beat him in a race.
Yeah.
Gene was what was Gene? Hitting coach, bench coach, some kind of coach.
He was hitting coach at one point. And how'd that go?
We never did race. It was just a lot of popping off.
Okay.
He probably would have cleaned my clock.
Strikeout number 2, Bart.
Well, Bill, graduation day is right around the corner, and the Astros have the perfect gift for your special grad. The 6-game grad pack lets your graduate choose the 6 Astros games they want to see during the 2010 season, and those plans start at just $42. Go to astros.com/grad to get your grad pack. If you want to wear your cap to the game, that's up to you.
All right. Thank you, Bart. There's strike 1 to Humberto Quintero. He has the only Astro hit in this game. It was a slow roller, and it was bobbled by Ian Stewart, who tried to play it barehanded. It was ruled a hit.
It kind of rings a bell, doesn't it? Kerry Wood?
Yeah.
One hitter. Although Jimenez was similar stuff. And not racking up the strikeouts like Kerry Wood did. 20. Just 2 so far for Ubaldo.
Kerry had a rough game last night. Threw his glove in the stands.
How's he been doing? I haven't really followed
He was hurt and hasn't been back too long, I don't think. Another little roller, and this time fielded with the glove hand, and Stewart gets him.
Yeah.
So that has
He learned from his mistakes. You can't accuse him of not learning from his mistakes.
had some fuel for the fire, and it is 3-0 Colorado. Strikeouts and the location. There's a curveball getting Smith, and then good movement on that one away from Hoff. Another swing and a miss by Stewart. So he's really handling these left-handed hitters very well. The Coors Light Freeze Can brought to you by the Frost Brewed Coors Light. But the right-handed hitting Troy Tulowitzki has accounted for all the runs in this game on one swing with a 3-run homer in the first. Those are the numbers. An odd pitching line. 5 innings, 1 hit, 3 runs. And of course, because of the error, allowing Gonzalez to reach, his run was unearned. There's strike 1 on Todd Helton, who has walked both times tonight.
And the Astros, one swing of the bat has been a common refrain this year. And the starting pitch has been pretty good, and sometimes just one swing of the bat is the difference maker because they haven't scored a lot of runs. So, big late game home run or 2-run double could be the difference maker.
Helton fouls it away.
And conversely, the Astros have, they haven't had a lot of base runners this year. Pretty inept offensively, but haven't had a lot of nights like last night where they got that big hit with the game on the line.
Roy wants to clean off his spikes here. Helton with 2 walks so far, needs 3 more to tie Craig Biggio on the all-time list. Biggio with 1,160 walks for his career. 1-2.
See if Helton, he's been very patient so far tonight. See if he changes his approach.
Up the middle and into center field, and Helton gets a single to lead it off here in the home 6th inning. Time now for our extraordinary play. It's brought to you by Land Rover. And it's Troy Tulowitzki on a 2-2 count in the 1st inning.
They've been working him primarily away and then tried to jam him with a fastball. The idea, there's nothing wrong with the idea, just the execution. Roy didn't quite get it in enough on Tulowitzki, and he was able to get the head out in front of it. Sometimes you just got to tip your hat to the opposition and say, hey, nice piece of hitting.
Tulowitzki walked in the 3rd. Strike 1 call for Oswalt. Despite Roy's 76-29 record at home in his career, he's 1-4 this year in this ballpark, despite a 3.07 ERA. Showing bunt, Tulowitzki takes it. Counts 1-1. Tampa Bay 7, the Yankees 4. They're in the middle of the 7th inning. Benjamin Zobrist finally hit his first homer for the Rays. B.J. Upton connected for his 5th. Carlos Pena hit his 6th. Bounce toward 3rd, but foul for Pedro Feliz.
Upton and Pena really haven't done much for the Rays to this point.
Yeah, that's the scary thing about that club.
Longoria, he's having a nice year. There's a pitch count on Roy. 92 pitches, worked awfully hard in that 1st inning. Hot, muggy night here.
Yes, it is. Nobody warming in the bullpen. Some pitchers are stretching. Roy is due to lead off the bottom of this inning. In the dirt, and it's 2-2. Tomorrow night, it's Brett Myers and Matt Garza in the opener of the Tampa Bay series. 7:05 start time. We're on the air at 6:30 with Astros Live. Saturday, no television for that 6:05 matchup with Wandy Rodriguez and Jeff Neiman. We see the Garza and Myers pairing tomorrow. And Sunday afternoon, we're back on the air at 12:30 for Astros Live time with Bud Norris and David Price to pitch. Curveball, strike 3. Tulowitzki caught looking. He is standing there after strikeout number 7.
And Paul Nauert was hearing it from the Astros dugout early in the game, and it looks like he's opened up that zone a little bit. And now he's got the Rocky hit. He's barking a little bit. Uncle Charlie just on or off that outside corner, depending on your perspective.
His perspective was a different one. Now there's strike 1 to Brad Hopp, who was struck out and fly to left. Longtime Astros PA announcer Bob Ford will be the guest PA announcer for the Oryx Buffaloes of the Japanese Baseball League on Saturday, May 29th for their game against the Tokyo Yakult Swallows.
Bob's going to Japan?
It doesn't say, but apparently so. Lined over Manzela's head into left center field. Michael Bourne picks it up, fires in towards second base. There's a play there, but the throw's offline. Keppinger cannot put the tag on in time, and Hopp has a double. If Bourne's throw is right on the bag, he gets him, but Hawk gets double number 10 of the year, sending Helton to third base.
Yeah, difficult throw to make accurately, moving towards left field and coming back in the other direction with the throw. And Michael busting it hard to cut that ball off, so all of his momentum is carrying him towards the left field line, so very difficult to make an accurate throw, and he didn't have time to set up. He had to get rid of it in a hurry. Hop probably should have slid here. If he overruns the bag, he's out.
Yeah. Looked like he was about to go into a slide, may have changed his mind on that one. Now here's the real crux of the issue. Trailing 3-0, Roy Oswalt has to put a tourniquet on this inning with Olivo the batter. Infielders will come in. Second and third one out. Olivo has not hit the ball out of the infield yet. He's popped to short and grounded to short.
I think they would be awfully cautious. Well, that wasn't very cautious. It was a slider right through the heart of the plate. But Olivo's a very free swinger. So if I'm Roy, I'm thinking punch out here. I'm trying to keep this ball out of play, and I'm trying to get him to chase out of the strike zone. And if I end up walking him, so be it. And then I'd have the double play in order, and I've got a guy coming up in Stewart that I've struck out twice already. When I say I mean Roy. I'm trying to crawl inside his head here. I've never faced Stewart. I'm a much older man than he is.
Maybe we should put together a little challenge. Bouncer to second, nobody moving. And there's the out at first for Keppinger. Helton tried to attract a little attention, but he wasn't going anywhere. 2 outs. Olivo fails to advance the runners on this grounder.
And see where Keppinger is with the speedy guy on third base. He's in a little bit tighter, but because Helton can't run a lick, he's able to stay back a couple of steps.
Now it's Stewart, who has whiffed twice. Barmas is on deck. Oswalt's at 98 pitches. And that's ball one. Stewart has really taken over at third base for the most part. Melvin Moore played there last night, but Stewart's the guy. Leaving Garrett Atkins out last year. The Rockies gave him that job. He's been very productive. 1 ball, 1 strike to Stewart. And the Rockies with these left-handed hitters can do a number. Gonzalez, Smith, Helton, Hawk, Stewart, all that left-handed.
And Dexter Fowler, who played last night's a switch hitter. He's on the bench tonight. Left-handers have not enjoyed much of an advantage against Roy this year. Right-handed hitters batting .216 against them. Lefties .234. Stewart is an aggressive hitter. He's a good low ball hitter. Kind of sits on that back leg and has a little bit of an uppercut swing.
He's from Long Beach, California. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Interesting to see. He's a guy that usually takes a pretty mighty cut. He struck out twice already tonight. Now he's down to the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. See if he makes any kind of an adjustment here. He's willing to shorten the stroke to try to put it in play if he continues to take that big swing. I'm betting on the latter.
Yeah. Stewart drove in 70 last season. Quintero out to talk. Stewart was the first high school position player ever drafted by the Rockies in the first round. He was the 10th player drafted in '03. And then he played for Joe Mikulik, former Astros farmhand. Mikulik was his skipper at Asheville in '04, and Stewart married Joe's daughter. Choose that one foul.
66 miles an hour. He got out on that front foot. Had time to read the morning paper and then swing. And he was still out in front.
He was. Good battle here. 1 and 2 on Stewart. And the fastball just misses. 2 and 2. Those numbers for Oswalt. So even though he gave up 3 runs in the first with only 1 out in the inning, he still has a chance to make this a quality start. Stewart with 138 strikeouts last year and 425 at bats with that big swing you talked about.
That's why I was betting on and he wouldn't change his approach.
Career 238 major league hitter in the dirt, and 3-2 now.
Well, this is where you got to just, if you're Roy, just stay tough mentally. Fatigue's got to be a little bit of an issue on a hot night like tonight, up over 100 pitches now. And sometimes you get a little annoyed with yourself when you get the jump on a hitter and then let him back into the count. But you have to remind yourself that you've got a base open here and you're down 3 runs. And obviously fully aware of that. Even if you lose him, you get a fresh start with Barmas. And that's where the fatigue comes in. Because sometimes when you're tired, you just you want to get it over with.
A foul ball again. Stewart has seen a lot of curveballs. Stewart last year hit 4 homers against the Astros, drove in 10 runs. He had 2 homers in 1 game, batting 8th at Colorado, including a grand slam. And the fastball got him. Strikeout number 8 for Roy Oswalt. He gets out of 6th inning trouble with no runs, 2 hits, 2 runners stranded in scoring position, and it's 3-0 Rockies. So far with a 3-run homer with 1 out in the first inning. Humberto Quintero has the only hit by an Astro in the 3rd inning. A slow roller to Ian Stewart, which he tried to barehand. Now we get a pinch hitter making his Astros debut, Oswaldo Navarro. And he comes up here in the bottom of the 6th inning, taking ball 1. He was hitting .312 at Round Rock with 3 homers, 19 runs batted in, and a .418 on base average there. Navarro rolls 1 foul. He's a middle infielder. 1 ball, 1 strike. He had been playing shortstop, and a good brand of shortstop with the injury to Edwin Mason at Round Rock, but his best position is considered to be second base.
He's a lifetime .667 hitter in the major leagues. It's 2 for 3.
Well, that speaks well for him. That was with Seattle.
How many guys can make that claim?
No. that's a close one. Jimenez looking in for a call, but he didn't get it, and it's 2-2.
88-mile-an-hour changeup. Levo may have cost him that pitch where he talked about.
He struck him out. Strikeout number 3. Michael Bourne comes up. Michael 0 for 2, a strikeout and a roller to first base. Jimenez has 11 groundouts, 2 in the air, and 3 strikeouts tonight.
Lack of strikeouts, not so much because he doesn't have his A stuff. It's because the Astros attack early and don't work many deep counts.
Bourne on the ground to Tulowitzki. Tulowitzki unloads. 2 outs. And he does have a cannon for an arm. Jimenez has the lowest ERA in history at Coors Field, 3.29.
Well, what he's doing, I mean, he's got a long way to go. Here we are in May. This 1.12 ERA he brought in here, we talked about the comparison with Bob Gibson, his 1968 season earlier. You look at the top 40 or so ERAs all time, Gibson's the only one. In the modern era, everybody else is like 1887, 1906. And the next guy in line, the people you may have heard of or aware of, would be Dwight Gooden. He's in the 48th all-time or something like that in terms of single-season ERA.
Crack bad roller by Keppinger. Stewart takes care of the 3rd out. And through 6, Jimenez has given up only a scratch hit and leads 3-0.
By Capital One and by Chevy. Back here at the ballpark, Kevin Eschenfelder with you, hoping you'll stick around after the game for Astros Live. Plenty to talk about, I think, on this one. We're going to be a lot of talking about that at-bat by Q in the 3rd inning, and right now that's the only thing standing. That's the only hit the Astros have had so far in this ball game. We'll be talking about that and plenty more. Dave Raymond will be joining me, and if you think Dave Raymond was breaking it down in the pregame show, just wait till the postgame show. All that and more coming up. And guys, we send it back to Brownie and JD. This is the cleanest scorebook I have had this season, fellas.
Well, let's dirty it up a little bit for you, Kevin, as we get a call to the bullpen. It's brought to you by Verizon Wireless in the bottom half of the inning, that is. Gustavo Chacin comes in for his 3rd Astros appearance, and he has an ERA of 0. He replaced Tim Burdak, who's been out with a hamstring injury, as the Astros bullpen southpaw. Tim has been throwing, and he's maybe pretty close to returning. He hopes by maybe early next week. Meanwhile, Gustavo in 2 games has pitched 3 1/3 innings and has not given up a run.
And if all goes well, Shashin probably will be asked to give the Astros a couple innings here with all the lefties at the top of the order. First things first, Barmes then the pitcher. And Gustavo, a finesse guy, not a real hard thrower. Good cut fastball. It is right there.
That evens the count on Barmes at 1-1. Barmes 0 for 2. Oswalt 6 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts. Up the right field line, Hunter Pence pursues it, and it's headed foul and out of play for him. 1-2 to Barmes.
As a rookie in 2005, Shashin won 13 games for the Toronto Blue Jays after a very good minor league career. He won 19 games when he in the minor league, 16 in the regular season, 3 more in the postseason.
Wow. It's hard to do in minor league baseball. The season's shorter. Pitchers are on pitch counts. They come out of games quicker. Popped up. Manzella underneath. 1 out for Gustavo.
He did something else in Toronto, too.
What's that?
He made cologne.
Did he really?
Yeah, some radio DJ thought Shashin sounded like it would be a good name for a cologne, so they started to play around with it and have some fun. And the next thing you know, Gustavo's in a lab coat with a bunch of beakers mixing together, a little on the coat it says Shashin Enterprises, and
nice.
Came up with Shashin cologne, and they gave 10,000 bottles of it away at the ballpark in Toronto.
Ball 1 to Jimenez. He's grounded out twice. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Well, you've got to be versatile.
And what would a cologne made by a ball player smell like?
No idea.
Tobacco juice in there and
dirt,
sweat.
Out of the way, it's a 1-ball, 2-strike count.
Like something Cosmo Kramer could get behind.
Gustavo Shashin is from Venezuela. The Rockies have a pitcher named Shashin, Ulis Shashin from Venezuela as well. Bounce to third, slowly hit. Pedro Feliz drops it, and Jimenez will reach at first base.
Well, it's a good veteran move there by Feliz to force Jimenez to run the bases. He's trying to wear him out.
Actually, his 5th error of the year.
And usually very reliable down there. That's very uncharacteristic. Well, here we go. Jim Tracy and the trainer out to having a look at the big right-hander.
Well, he was not running well, and now he's hurting as he closed in on the first base bag. He was just trotting. Jimenez is an avid long-distance runner, kicking that left leg right now.
He might be cramping up a little bit in this heat.
Quite possible.
I can almost read Jim Tracy's mind. You're all right, big fella. Come on, tell me you're all right.
There it is.
Oh, he's cranking up pretty good there. So they'll tell him if they keep him in the ball game to go easy on the bases here, and then take a look at him at the end of the inning. I would think. I don't know. I might get him out of there.
They might. Let's see what Tracy does. And meanwhile, we'll go to Bart. Bart.
Well, Bill, if fans are looking for fun that the whole family can enjoy, they need to come to Minute Maid Park for Family Sundays, presented by Minute Maid and Kroger. Enjoy a kids' fun zone in the Union Station lobby with inflatables and great family activities. Go to Astros.com to get your tickets to be here for a Family Sunday. Brownie?
That's why we like National League Baseball. Pitchers running the bases and batting. And sometimes that gives you a different wrinkle in a ball game. Now it's Gonzalez. Gonzalez is 0 for 3, reaching on an error, scoring a run. Yeah, Chen-Min Wong got hurt here and was out for months trying to score from second when the Yankees were in town in interleague play. On just a routine trip from second to home. There was no play on him or anything. Sprained his ankle very badly. 1 ball, 1 strike. Not that you wish an injury on a pitcher, but there are some different wrinkles when a pitcher engages himself in his club's offense.
This could be the best case scenario for the Astro fans here tonight. Get to see Jimenez for 6 innings and then get him out of there. Maybe stage a comeback against the bullpen.
2 balls and a strike. Wilson Lopez is warming up in the Houston bullpen. Left-handed hitters Smith and Helton to follow Gonzalez. And it's 2-2 to Gonzalez now. Tim Lincecum got hurt here when he had a great game going and had to come out. That was back in 08. And a strikeout. 2 outs. Brad Ausmus hit a line drive off Lincecum's knee. And he had to leave after 4 1/3, and the Astros won the game. Now Seth Smith, he's 0 for 3 with a couple of punch outs.
If Brad wasn't on the DL right now, I'd make some disparaging remark about him hitting a line drive off of Lincecum, but I'm not going to go there.
Todd Helton's on deck. In tight. Ball 1 to Smith. The Astros have Berkman, Lee, and Pence due up in the bottom of the 7th inning. We're looking out at the Rockies bullpen right now. Doesn't look like they have anybody warming up at the moment. They do not.
Because if Jimenez has to leave this game, it will be due to injury, and whoever comes in will have all the time he needs to get ready.
The KSM initials of Kelly McGregor, the late Rockies president, passed away a short time ago. Grounded up the middle. Keppinger gets in front of it. Tosses to Manzella for the force. And Mena just trotting, trying to save that leg for pitching in the bottom of the 7th inning. It's 3-0 Colorado. Oswalt got into first inning trouble, but then he was able to string together the zeros after that 3-run first on the homer by Troy Tulowitzki. Struck out 8 tonight, gave up 2 earned runs. Total of 3 runs. The Tulowitzki first inning homer has provided all the runs in this game. 3-0 Rockies as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Now the real question centers around Ubaldo Jimenez. Is his leg all right to continue after an apparent injury? running up the first base line on a ground ball. We're about to find out as he faces Lance Berkman, who's fly to left and walk. And the curve misses, ball one.
We'll keep a very close eye on Jimenez. It looked like Jim Tracy may have just talked to Bob Apodaca, the pitching coach, to start getting somebody ready out there.
Berkman hits a high one to left. Seth Smith underneath. One out. The paid attendance is 25,932. Apodaca, the pitching coach, watching as Jimenez gets the first out in the home 7.
This is, you got a guy like Jimenez, they're going to come out and have another challenge. They just don't like the way he's finishing his delivery, not really exploding off the rubber. There's obviously concern about the leg, but also concern that if you're not using your lower half, you're putting too much strain on your arm, and you risk an arm injury. And he started slow curveball changeup, and that might be what he's telling Tracy. Well, I didn't throw fastballs there. That's why you didn't see me come flying off that rubber. I'm good. Matt
Belisle is warming up as this conversation occurs.
And this is where it's really important for the pitcher, any player in this situation, to be honest with your manager. It's not time to macho up. If this is the postseason, that's time to macho up. Or if it's a pennant race in September, and now you're thinking about the long haul.
Keith Duggar, the head athletic trainer, involved in that conversation, which did not count as a visit to the mound. Now Carlos Lee, cracked bat roller to Ian Stewart. 2 outs. And Jimenez has needed only 3 pitches to get these first 2 outs in the 7th.
And the drama continues on the one hit the Astros have. And Carlos certainly could have gone the other way.
The official score might be squirming right now.
Yeah, it's a tough situation for the official score. Of course, for Stewart, the third baseman, who made the play or failed to make the play. When's the last time somebody threw 2 no-nos in a season?
I was just wondering that earlier.
Nolan, maybe?
Don't have an answer for you. We'll have to check on that. As Hunter Pence bats and takes ball 1. He's grounded out twice. The second time it was a double play ball. How about 2 no-hitters the first 9 starts to a season? 1 ball, 1 strike.
I think Nolan got 2 in 1 year. I'm not sure. When he was with the Angels.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Back when he was punching out about 18 a game. 197 pitches.
Well, the pitches thrown by Jimenez in his no-hitter ranked right up there with some of the high pitch counts in history for no-hit games. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Was it A.J. Burnett who had the 9-walk no-hitter?
Yeah. And Sandy Koufax had more pitches thrown in one of his no-hitters than Jimenez did. Breaking ball, and there's a strikeout. And so far through 7, Jimenez has struck out 4. He's allowed just that scratch single by Quintero in the 3rd, and he leads 3-0.
The Astros with you. Subscribe to MLB.tv tonight to see Astros games live or on demand on your computer. Go to Astros.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, it's baseball everywhere. Dale, back to you.
Thank you, Bart. Ubaldo Jimenez apparently is coming out of this game by the phone call placed to the bullpen by his pitching coach there, Bob Apodaca, and some handshakes exchanged. A one-hitter through 7 with 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Was he limping a little bit when he came off the mound, JD?
He was just walking a little tentatively, yeah. A little gingerly the way he came off the mound. It'd be interesting if he had the no-no going, the whole dynamic there. Obviously, he would have fought to go back out there. There would have been a lot of pressure on Jim Tracy to let him pitch.
Well, he lowered his 1.12 ERA. That's hard to do. It's 2 balls and a strike. And he could be 8-1 by the end of the evening. What pitchers have thrown 2 no-hitters in a season? We got the answer. Phil Boudreau called it up. 3-1. Virgil Trucks of Detroit in 1952. Allie Reynolds of the Yankees in 1951. Nolan Ryan of the Angels in 1973. Johnny Vandermeer back-to-back 1938 for Cincinnati. Helton lines one into the right field corner. Deep into the corner. Hunter Pence pursues it. Helton will just check in with a double. He wasn't pressing the issue at all, leading off the inning here. Up 3-0. And that's his 6th double of the year.
On base 4 times tonight. Walk, knock. Now a 2-base hit. Took a pretty stroke. Stays on plane. He's not a speedy guy. Somebody else may have thought about 3 here, but Helton happy to settle in with 2. The all-time doubles list, he's tied Joe Cronin with 515. Tied for 40th. Troy Tulowitzki ripped the 3-run homer. He also has a walk and a strikeout. Tulo takes ball 1, and for the Rockies, that was hit number 4. Helton with 2 of those and 2 walks tonight. A little glimmer of hope now with Jimenez having to leave this ball game. Can't afford to let the Rockies have any more. Righty warming up in the pen, Wilton Lopez. But you got a lefty on deck and Brad Hopp, so Shashin stays in the game here to face Tulowitzki. For the Rockies, it's Matt Belisle with a 1-1 record and a 2.77 ERA for 17 games this year. The Astros will have Feliz, Manzella, and Quintero due up in the bottom of the inning. Tim Burdack said he was hopeful of pitching a simulated game, maybe tomorrow or sometime this weekend, and then he would be thinking that if all goes well, perhaps on the next road trip, Monday's a day off for travel to Milwaukee, and perhaps by Tuesday he might return to the Astros bullpen. Soccer action coming up Saturday night. Meanwhile, the Astros are here at 6:05 against the hot Rays. The Rays with a .725 winning percentage and leading at New York now 8-4 in the bottom of the 9th. It would be interesting to see what happens when Tim does come back. You figure that Shashin probably would be the guy to be sent back out, but he's thrown the ball pretty well, and for Brad Mills, you probably like having 2 lefties out there. Good point. Tulowitzki's hobbling. You've got 2 lefties. You could have brought a righty in here to face Tulowitzki and then have a lefty available for Hopp. True. Helton at second, nobody out in the Rocky 8th inning. Into center field, Bourne
Plays it on a bounce. Helton to third base on the single by Tulowitzki, his second hit of the night. And it's first and third, nobody out for Brad Hopp.
There's a soft little line drive in front of Michael Bourne. Helton had to hesitate and make sure the ball was going to drop. You see it here. Waits and reads it. And decides to head on over. Astros have to pull the infield in here.
Trailing 3-0 in the 8th. Hopp doubled to left center in the 6th inning. 1 for 3 tonight.
Well, I say they have to pull the infield in.
They're double play depth.
Now again with Helton on third base, this allows him to kind of cheat a little bit.
That's the way it's set up.
Yeah, they're in position here with a sharply hit ball. They might think about trying to turn two and see if they can keep Helton at third base.
Strike, and it's 0-2. Hopp's a .353 career hitter against the Astros, but he's pretty displeased with that last call.
Anything on the ground, though, Helton's got to try to score. His function here is to prevent the double play. If they want to turn two and he scores, at this stage of the game, the Rockies will take that.
One and two to Hopp. Milwaukee leads at Pittsburgh 4-3, bottom of the 9th.
And what the Astros are doing in the middle of the infield, actually, they start in a double play situation, double play depth, and then they come in as the pitch is being delivered. So their intention is to go home here.
Two and two. Helton was trying to get that walking lead, and he stopped. Mets are leading at Washington 10-4, bottom of the 8th inning. Rod Barajas hit his 10th homer for New York.
Just stole David Wright's power.
He did. Wondered where that went. Fly ball left center field. And Michael Bourne will not be able to make a catch. Helton scores to make it 4-0 as the ball drops between Bourne and Lee. And Hopp will pick up his 13th run batted in.
Well, I'm not sure what was going on in the outfield. That run was going to score anyway. That ball deep enough to score Helton from third base, but it should be one out. Instead of a base hit, that should be a sac fly. And usually Michael runs Carlos off at every opportunity. There's some confusion there.
Yeah, Michael looked at Carlos, and neither made the catch. And now there's a pitching change. Chacin going out. Wilton Lopez running in from the bullpen after the RBI single by Hopp. Makes it 4-0 Rockies. And giving Matt Belisle or whoever might come in even more working room here. Back in a moment. this season who are perfect in save situations. Matt Capps, 15 for 15 for Washington. Rafael Soriano of Tampa Bay is 10 for 10, and Matt Lindstrom of Houston is 9 for 9. Matt has a streak of 21 straight going back to last year. Now it's Wilton Lopez, runners at first and second, nobody out. He's 1-0. His ERA is 5.73.
A good candidate to get you a double play ball with that sinker.
Olivo's the batter, fouling it off the mask of Quintero for strike one.
John Maine got hurt tonight. He only faced one batter. He started for the Mets against the Nationals.
What happened to him?
I'm not sure. His velocity was down. Danny Worth and the pitching coach didn't like the way he warmed up. I guess it's a shoulder.
Lopez misses away, and it's 1-1. Wilton last pitched Tuesday in Los Angeles, one hitless inning in the Astros 7-3 loss. That was his first outing in 6 days.
With that good sinker, can really simplify things.
Fly ball, Bourne in left center. Tulowitzki's tagging but not going anywhere. 1 out.
And what I mean by simplify is he has such good movement. If he can just kind of keep that ball down around the knees and let it run, he doesn't have to try to trick too many hitters. Just trust his movement and his location. Keep it simple.
Lopez has 1 out. Now it's Stewart, who struck out 3 times tonight.
Dizzy Dean said that the secret to his success was strong body, a good arm, and a weak mind. Didn't think too much.
Interesting combination of assets.
Well, we've seen it a lot with the brain getting in the way.
Yeah, that's true.
The player.
Fly ball, center field by Stewart. Michael Bourne backing up. Tulowitzki will just draw a throw. 2 outs. And Clint Barmas is next. Ubaldo Jimenez in 7 innings, allowing 1 hit, no runs tonight, with 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Very difficult to solve. And now the Rockies lead it 4-0. Rockies have pitched 4 shutouts this season. The Astros have been blanked 5 times. That's ball 1. Jason Giambi comes out to the on-deck circle. Pitcher spot due up next after Barmas. Barmas fouls it, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. The Angels lead the White Sox 4-1 after 5 in Chicago. Jake Peavy pitching for the White Sox.
How's he been doing this year? Pretty well?
Lately, better. He had a rough start. Very rough. Kansas City beat Cleveland 9-3 tonight. Coach Haber, the winner. Jose Guillen hit his 9th home run. Fly ball to right center. Bourne calling. And in the 8th, it's 1 run, 3 hits, 2 men left for the Rockies. They lead it 4-0. Texas Ford dealers and the 2010 F-150. By the Progressive Insurance Group. And by Southwest Airlines. A windy night here at Minute Maid Park in downtown Houston. The Astros trailing 4-0, bottom of the 8th inning now. And the move to the bullpen brings in Matt Belisle, the 29-year-old right-hander from Austin who went to McCallum High School there, comes in with a 1-1 record and a 2.77 ERA.
He's got very good numbers. He's allowed 2 home runs. He struck out a man an inning, and he's only walked 8 in those 26 innings. The league hits .240 against him. This was his second season in a Rocky uniform. Originally came up with the Reds of Cincinnati back in 2003.
They got him in the Kent Mercker trade from the Braves, who had drafted him in the second round in '98. Pedro Feliz, the first man to face Belisle. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. And then strike one. Fastball in tight to Pedro. Belisle pitched a perfect 9th and 10th before he allowed a game-winning homer in the 11th Monday against the Cubs. That snapped the scoreless inning streak of 11 and a third for him. 1 ball, 1 strike. He got a win Sunday against Washington. That was his first since September 20th of last year. And his 4th as a Rocky. Jeff Fulcino warms up for Houston. The count goes to 1-2. Last night it was Joe Beimel for 1 out of the Rocky bullpen, and Esmo Rogers for 2. He took the loss when 4 unearned runs scored in the 8th. 2-2.
It's a big curveball. He also throws a slider and a changeup to go with that fastball. 90 to 93 miles an hour on the heater.
Four and 9 for the Rocky bullpen. 5 saves and 9 opportunities. And the ERA is the 4th lowest in the National League, 3.17. Belisle's allowed a .240 batting average. That was foul. The Astros made the 8th inning their big frame last night. When they came up, they were tied. Now tonight, they trail by 4. Rockies' record when they get a quality start this year is 16-3. Strikeout of Feliz, 1 out in the home 8th. Strikeout number 5 for Rocky pitching.
Not that you would expect it tonight with Jimenez on the mound, but the Astros haven't chased many starters this year. I mean, most starting pitchers have been able to take the game at least through 6 innings. He's got a good heater. It's not Ubaldo, but it's a good fastball.
Tommy Manziel is 0 for 2. A grounded to third and a strikeout. Strike 1 to Manziel. See, Berkman hit a fly ball to left in the first inning, and again in the 7th. He's the only Astro to get the ball out of the infield. Bunted by Manziel, and he'll reach on the infield single. Manziel drops down a beautiful bunt.
That was pretty. Down 4 runs, need traffic. Not a bad idea, and well executed. Couldn't have rolled it out there any better. Lyle doing a pretty good Mike Hampton impersonation here.
Hit number 2 for the Astros.
Except for Hampy would have thrown that. Well, here's Q. And Stewart tried to barehand the ball. Probably should not have, because it works better with the glove. 2 very similar swings. And that's the only hit off of Jimenez. That injury to Jimenez, that took everybody off the hook.
It really did. Corey Sullivan's on deck with a pitcher spot due up next for Houston. Fulcino in the bullpen. 1-1. Sullivan had a very important pinch hit last night. That came in the 8th inning with 2 outs and 2 on to give the Astros the lead, 4-3. Rockies set up for a double play with Tulowitzki and Barmas.
Get 2 here, 2 in the 9th, win in the 10th.
1-2 for Belisle.
No food up there.
No.
Bring that down. Fighting Phils beat the Cubs 5-4 tonight, Brownie.
Did they?
Yep. Joan Baez beat John Grayboat. Jose Contreras got his second save with Brad Lidge on the shelf.
That's interesting.
The veteran Contreras is now the closer.
Yeah. They've had a lot of injuries in that bullpen. Strikeout for Belisle. 2 outs.
Is it safe to say that if Jamie Moyer gets a start and gets the win and Contreras gets the save, it would be the oldest combined win-save combo?
Yeah. Braves got 7 in the 9th today. They were down by 8 earlier. They won on a walk-off grand slam by Brooks Conrad to beat the Reds 10-9. That sent the Cardinals back into first. Tony Perez and Andre Dawson have admonished Hanley Ramirez. He's apologized to his teammates for some remarks he made and for not going all out after a ball he kicked.
He got called into the principal's office. Principal Dawson really let him have it.
Yeah, you don't want to cross Hall of Famers like Perez and Dawson, who really played hard throughout their careers and knows what it's all about to reach the Hall of Fame.
And the Hawk did most of the talking in that meeting, and then basically came public too. I mean, the conversation is out there to read it, so it's pretty good. And the Hawk let him have it.
Sullivan got his 5th pinch hit last night. He looks at that pitch for ball 2. And Corey with a 2-0 count, 5 for 24 pinch hitting with 4 runs batted in. Overall, a .216 average for Corey.
The first thing Dawson said to Hanley Ramirez is, I'm not going to say a lot, because if you say the wrong thing to me, then you might wind up on the floor on your rear end.
Ooh. Pointed. Fly ball, and center fielder Gonzalez is over in position for out number 3. No runs a hit. Runner left. And through 8. The Astros only have 3 balls out of the infield. It's 4-0 Colorado.
It begins with the Cubs taking on Michael Young and the Rangers. Fox Saturday Baseball presented by Budweiser returns this week at 6 Central. And don't forget about This Week in Baseball coming your way as well. Cubs Rangers Saturday night. Interleague play is upon us once again.
Jeff Fulcino comes in for the 9th. It's 4-0. The Rockies lead. Fulcino pitcher number 4 for Brad Mills. And he has no decisions and a 5.27 ERA.
He's got pinch hitter here, Dexter Fowler. Switch hitter will be swinging from the left side. And a couple more left-handed bats to contend with. Does pretty well against lefties. That split finger is a good weapon for him against left-handed hitters.
Fowler was the starting center fielder in last night's game. Showing bunt. 8 takes strike 1. Fowler was 0 for 3 with a walk and scored a run last night. 228 for Dexter, 1 homer, 3 runs batted in. He's had 123 at bats. He scored 18 runs.
A good guy to come off the bench and try to ignite something with his speed if he can get on.
There's a 340 on base average. As a left-handed batter, he's hitting just 179. From this side of the plate, he has a 266 on base average. And the count's 1-2 for Jeff Fulcino. Gonzalez and Smith to follow. Manny Corpus is warming up in the bullpen for the Rockies.
I have to say, there are times when I feel like this game is passing me by.
Really?
Yeah.
How so?
Well, Brandon Webb is on the disabled list.
Yeah.
And he went and saw Dr. James Andrews over in Birmingham. And through the use of motion sensing technology, it was determined his arm slot was too high. So he's got to retrain his throwing motion. He's been wasting all his time coming back by throwing with the wrong arm angle. And he was told that the arm slot for elite pitchers is usually between 88 and 102 degrees.
Oh.
I don't even know what that means.
Three and two.
If you're talking about an arm slot, wouldn't you think about like the shoulder in relation, the elbow in relation to the shoulder? I mean, what are they talking about? 88 degrees.
If you don't know, you think I know?
90 degrees, 88. 88 seems like it would be below sidearm.
Well, that might work.
Do you have a compass? 88. This is 90.
Leadoff walk. Okay.
I've broken the toy here.
Fowler with a 4-0 ball game might think about running here after drawing that leadoff walk. Gonzalez is the batter. He's 0 for 4. Has scored a run.
A couple of ways they can play it here. If you're the Rockies in this situation, you're looking to play for a run. So you can either sacrifice with Gonzalez or let Fowler try to steal the base, and it will probably determine on their scouting reports on how quick they feel like Fulcino is to home plate, knowing full well that Quintero is a very good throwing catcher. Conservative play is just bunt him over.
Seth Smith is on deck. Lee's off the line even with a bag at third on Gonzalez. Fulcino misses. It's 1-0.
You know, and Gonzalez last night was 0 for 5. And 0 for 4 so far tonight. So, you know, that may factor into Jim Tracy's thinking, too. Let the kid swing the bat to even get a knock here.
Rockies have 6 hits to the Astros 2. Giants got a run at the top of the first at Arizona. They lead 1-0 after 1 against Rodrigo Lopez. Big swing, throw to first, and Fowler just got back. Quintero didn't get a lot on that throw. He snapped it off quickly.
This is his favorite scenario. A speedy guy on first base with a left-handed hitter in the box. He knows the guy's going to be getting an aggressive secondary lead. Brian Gorman, the first base umpire, scrambling over to get a good look. And I imagine the scouts or the umpires scout the players too, and they probably talk before the game. Hey, don't forget about Quintero. Likes to throw to the bases.
Good point.
Be aware.
1-1 on Gonzalez. San Diego and Los Angeles just about to start with Clayton Kershaw going for the Dodgers in Dodger Stadium. Detroit beat Oakland 5-2 at Oakland. Jeremy Bonderman won that one. Fouled, and it's a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Jose Valverde got save number 11 for the Tigers. Fowler's 5 for 8 in steals. Miguel Cabrera hit his 9th home run for Detroit. Tigers are 24-17.
Eight to 6 tonight, so they'll come in feeling pretty good about things. Shields beat Pettit. Soriano got his 11th save.
Runner going. Quintero with a throw. Manzella does not tag him in time. Fowler gets the steal. And the pitch is ball 3. Fowler's 6th of the year.
Second one for the Rockies tonight. Gonzalez got one way back in the first inning. Good call, throw a little high, tag a little late.
Now the count's 3-2.
Ted Barrett, second base umpire, all over.
Yes, he was. And a catch on the foul tip by Quintero. No, wait a minute. Now he thought he got it, but the home plate umpire ruled the ball bounced. Paul Noward. And Brad Mills is coming out.
Yeah, I'm guessing that was more on sound than sight. And I'm sure Millsy's both saying, hey, ask for help. And now he's probably saying, I don't want to ask for help. I got it. I'm the guy closest to the call. I'm on it. Looked like he caught it.
Well, on that replay, it didn't look like the ball hit the dirt.
It did there, though, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Yep.
Yeah,
sure did.
You got it right. Sometimes as a catcher, you can't really tell. You just feel it going to your glove.
3-2 now to Gonzalez. Milwaukee trying to snap that 9-game losing streak. Has the lead at Pittsburgh, 4-3, bottom of the 9th inning. Without the closer, he is regrouping right now. Trevor Hoffman taking a few days to do some throwing in the bullpen. Brewers are 1 game in front of the Astros in the NL Central.
Yeah, they beat them 4-3. Brewers won. Villanueva got the save.
Good pitch there by Fulcino. And he struck out Gonzalez for out number 1.
That splitter. It's 3 in a row for Gonzalez.
Three for Gonzalez, 3 for Stewart tonight in the strikeout department. The Astros have fanned 10 in this game. Smith has punched out twice. Smith 0 for 4. And it's ball 1 to him. And Jim Tracy trying to find the right combinations in the outfield. Has been playing Smith more often recently. His numbers offensively superior to Dexter Fowler. Trying to tweak this club because he doesn't feel that offensively this club is hitting on its cylinders. There's the Fowler going to third, and the throw to Feliz gets it. Well, Fowler gunned down by Quintero after stealing second. And Q gets his 8th caught stealing of the year.
Trying to play add-on here, and with 1 out, that's the time you want to try to get third base. It's a tough proposition, though, with a left-handed hitter in the box. Nice shorter throw. The catcher's got a clean look. No batter to throw around. It's another one taken to Q school. And that pitch up, almost as good as a pitch out.
Yeah. That was perfect for him because he could come up out of his crouch and take that step cleanly toward third. Wide open view, as you said, without the lefty, without the right-handed hitter in the box. So Fowler's gunned down. And Smith draws a walk. Second walk of the inning for Fulcino. And the caught stealing has really helped Jeff, who now faces Todd Helton. Quintero's now thrown out 8 in 21 tries. Helton has not made it out tonight. 2 walks, a single, and a double. He has scored twice. There's strike 1 to Todd. The Astros will be in Colorado in mid-June for a 4-game series.
Part of that Colorado, New York, Kansas City road trip.
That one makes a lot of sense geographically. 1 ball and 1 strike. A weekend in New York at Yankee Stadium. 2-1 to count.
We got a Saturday afternoon game there too, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Are we working?
I think we are. Three and one.
If not, I'll go see Cats or something.
Oh, yeah. That would be a great idea.
Is that still playing?
Yep. Probably.
I think they put that one to bed, didn't they?
Might be off Broadway somewhere. A good show never dies, JD. That's another walk to Helton. He's on base for the 5th time tonight. 3 walks and 2 hits for Helton. 3 walks in the inning for Fulcino. Now Brad Arnsberg will visit. Astros have walked 6 tonight.
Soccer fans, listen up. On Saturday, Fox will bring you one of the world's greatest sporting events for the first time ever on network television. It's the UEFA Champions League final as Bayern Munich battles Inter Milan live from from Madrid. Saturday at 1:30 Central in high definition, only on Fox.
You made that really sound compelling.
I tried, and then I said Milan instead of Madrid.
It's all right. Milan, Madrid.
Yeah, Madrid.
Troy Tulowitzki has a homer and a single, also a walk tonight. That's strike 1 to him. Boston beat Minnesota 6-2 in Boston. John Lester going to 4-2 with a win over Francisco Liriano. He's 4-3. Kevin Youkilis hit his 8th homer. Adrian Beltre added his 3rd.
Big Poppy calling out Terry Francona and the Boston media. Yeah, just hey, you guys gave up on me.
Really?
And, getting after Tito a little bit. You know, he said his manager lost confidence in him, pinch hit for him earlier this year when he was really struggling, and implied that would never happen again. So I guess he's struggling at some point. Tito sends a pinch hitter up there. Big Poppy's not coming back to the dugout.
Interesting. Fly ball up the right field line, and this one goes foul, and it's 1-2. So have you ever seen that? We've seen pitchers who didn't want to leave, but batters refused to leave the box. Pinch hitter.
I have not. That would be kind of fun, though.
It would be.
So he'll be done when he says he's done, not when the media says he's done.
Okay. Well, sounds like he's working out some things. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And what's the latest with Milton Bradley? He made some statements. He's back now, right?
Yeah, I think he's going to return. He had a couple weeks of counseling, and so hopefully he's able to turn the page and continue his career.
He's good talent.
You know, he's obviously had some issues, and been a hard guy to get along with in a lot of the teams he's been with. But I have heard anecdotally from other people, he's not that bad a guy. He's a pretty good teammate. You know, so I think what happens is he kind of goes along on a nice even keel for a while, and when something gets under his crawl and he gets a little out of sorts, and he can't rein it back in.
He was great with the Rangers. That's strike 3. Fulcino gets out of 9th inning trouble with his 2nd strikeout. It's no runs, no hits. 2 men left. Colorado 4, Houston nothing. the Secretary of Defense, Alberto Quintero, throwing to third, and another caught stealing. On Dexter Fowler. Beautiful throw there to Pedro Feliz to gun down Fowler in the top of the ninth.
Yeah, pretty play. Good footwork. Good strong throw. He's one of those guys. He loves it when the speedy guys get on. He loves the challenge.
Now Carlos Gonzalez has moved to left field from center field. Dexter Fowler, who pinch hit for the pitcher, Matt Belisle, is the center fielder. Belisle in one inning, allowed 1 hit, no runs, with no walks, 2 strikeouts. And it's Manuel Corpus from Panama coming in.
Yeah, Manny Corpus, boy, he's been tough to hit. 26 in the third innings, a 146 batting average against. He's only allowed 13 hits. He has walked 9. So patience would be a prudent strategy here. Need some traffic.
2 hits for the Astros, both infield hits, 1 a bunt. There's ball 1 to Michael Bourne. He was struck out, grounded out, and grounded out.
I think the Astros are facing Eddie Feigner here tonight.
Yeah.
You know, they can do anything with this Rocky pitching.
Only 3 balls have been hit out of the infield.
There's one.
There's a single to right field. Michael Bourne has a 6-game hitting streak. And he's on for Jeff Keppinger.
Start. Keep the line moving.
Keppinger has hit 3 ground balls.
Corpus has been really tough on right-handed hitters. They're hitting just 103 against him.
Wow.
A pretty good slider.
Corpus, 27 years old, from Panama City. He throws ball 1. The closer, Houston Street, has been injured and is working his way back from a couple of different injuries. He's on the disabled list right now. Not a safe situation for Corpus because his club leads by 4 with 1 inning to go. Strike makes it 1-1.
He gets good sink on his fastball, and that's what he's thinking here. He's trying to get Keppinger to try to pull that fastball down and away and get a ground ball to short. If you're the hitter in this situation, you're trying to keep your hands inside the ball, and you're looking to shoot it the other way up the middle. I want to roll over on one.
Tulowitzki to second, and then a quick throw by Barmas, but no double play. Barmas really got rid of that in a flash. With Bourne on top of him.
Yeah. Not a whole lot of steam on this ground ball, and that allows Bourne to really get into Barmas there at second base. He does a nice job turning if it throws offline, and Helton has to abandon ship there at first.
Lance Berkman is 0 for 2, 2 fly balls to left field, and he drew a walk. Carlos Lee's on deck, and Lee and Corpus have a bit of a history. Bench is emptied, and Lee was hit by a pitch out in Colorado back in 07. That's ball 1. And Franklin Morales became the closer, with Street not having been able to pitch in a game all year for the Rockies. He had 3 saves, but now he's on the disabled list as well. And Corpus had 1 save last year. He had 19 in 07. Strike, and it's 1-1. Seattle got 3 in the bottom of the 9th and beat Toronto 4-3.
Corpus needs, he just needs, 500 and some odd saves to be the all-time leading save runner from Panama.
Behind Rivera. Yeah. 2 balls and a strike. Corpus had July elbow surgery last year for bone chips after pitching in 35 games. So he was not around for the playoff run of the Rockies. Helton plays behind Keppinger. Workman taps a foul. It's 2-2. There's 3 Houston hits tonight. That ties the Astros' lowest hit total in the game this year. They've done that twice previously, but they still have a couple more outs here tonight. their number 3, 4, 5 hitters. We're all hoping to come to the plate against Corpus that they might make some late magic happen again. Trailing 4-0. Berkman gets underneath it, pops it up. Barmas and Helton. Barmas. 2 outs.
Yeah, you know, we were joking in the pregame when I said that if you're playing, let's make a deal with Brad Mills and you offered him 3 runs, well, he's behind the curtain, he would have taken 3 runs. It turns out the Astros only have 3 hits.
Yeah, you're right. They're trying to avoid being shut out for the 6th time this year. Carlos Lee is 0 for 3. 2 grounders to third and a foul pop to first.
There's a lot of really good pitchers in the major leagues. That's why it's the major leagues. But the Astros have seen an awful lot of them here in the first 6 weeks of the season.
They have.
I mean, they've seen more than their chance. And as I said the other night, it doesn't get a whole lot easier with the race coming down. I mean, is there guys, there are lefties in the game with better stuff than David Price?
Couldn't say yes to that. That's that slider you talked about. And it's 1-1 for Manny Corpus. Fly ball left field. Gonzalez for the out that ends this shutout. Jimenez, Belisle, and Corpus combining on a 3-hitter. And the Rockies get a split of this 2-game series. Troy Tulowitzki's 3-run homer in the first inning sent them off to this 4-0 win. And the Rockies go to 20-21 while the Astros fall to 14-27. Another tough luck loss for Roy Oswalt, who falls to 2-6. Ubaldo Jimenez goes to 8-1.